So you want to have your own website, but you're not sure where to start? Well, today we're going to be breaking down 2 of the top website builders out there. I'll touch on some of their top features and tell you which ones would work best for you. So stay tuned. So today I'm going to be comparing 2 of the top website builders out on the market today, which is Shopify and Squarespace. Now, Shopify is a website builder, more strictly a e-commerce platform. That's kind of the way that I see them. And it was one of the platforms that I first started using during my entrepreneurial journey. Now, whenever I first started getting into entrepreneurship, I actually started selling on websites like Amazon, right? So on Amazon, I didn't really need to build out my own e-commerce platform. I was just kind of selling it as like a third-party seller. So Amazon kind of laid all the groundwork when it came to, having to build a website, having to get customers, all that stuff. So whenever I decided to start pivoting, because a lot of the anxiety that came in with being on Amazon was that at any time they could just decide to, ban your account and you were pretty much done at that point, right? You're at the mercy of Amazon. So I decided to start building my own website to be able to start having my own control, right? Being able to decide what I sold and who I sold to. And one of the first website builders that I looked at was Shopify. Now, when it comes to Shopify versus Squarespace, Shopify is going to be a website builder, but more strictly an e-commerce platform. When I was first starting off, I actually started by selling on other platforms like Amazon and eBay. But once I decided to launch my own website and be able to sell out off of my own platform, Shopify was the first one that I actually used, the first company that I used. And, they're wonderful when it comes to e-commerce, but they don't really venture out of that, right? They kind of staying in their lane, and that's really what they're focused on. Now, when it comes to Squarespace is actually also a website builder, but they can be used as a website or an online store. So they kind of try to be a Swiss Army knife in a sense when it comes to what their offerings are. And they can be used for, if you just want to build a website, an informative website, or if you want to actually have a store and be able to sell things. Now, both of these platforms are amazing. They're great platforms to use. It really comes down to what are you building a website for, okay? So are you building a website to sell goods online? Or are you building a website to offer a service or to build an informative site, right? So you can kind of think like build a blog or such. Now, if it's to offer a service or to build a blog or an informative site, for me, I find it's Squarespace hands down. Squarespace, you got to think they're more inclined, or the more their customers that they have to do with blogging, news sites, brochure sites, maybe a magazine, or even a portfolio. So, like for example, let's say I was running a photography business, I would rather be on Squarespace and be able to show my portfolio and then be able to get leads or have a contact form where people could reach out and be able to get in touch with me after they've seen my portfolio. That's where I see Squarespace really shine. It's a great place for you to convey or show information or to just offer a service. Now, if you said that you really wanted to sell goods online, right? You wanted to do true e-commerce, then for me, that's Shopify hands down. Pure e-commerce, Shopify is going to be a no-brainer for that. Now, we'll talk even deeper about it later, but the customizability, not sure if that's a word, but it is unreal on Shopify. The amount of different things that you're able to do, pretty much whatever you can conceive in your mind, there's going to be a way for you to do it on Shopify, which for me, that was a game changer when it came to the flexibility and the creativity that I was able to unleash on that platform. So when it comes to pricing, you're going to see that Shopify's pricing goes as low as $29 a month. The higher tiers mainly give you access to more advanced reports as well as cheaper transaction fees and more user accounts. They also have a $9 light plan, but it's for people who just want to add e-commerce capabilities to an already created website or blog. And for me, I just found that it wasn't really worth it. Now, when it comes to Squarespace, you'll see that Squarespace's pricing can go as low as $19 a month. You can use the higher tiers to unlock e-commerce capabilities if you decide that you want to create an online store on Squarespace, but the $19 plan seems that it works pretty well, especially if you just want to have a portfolio and just be able to collect contact information. Now, another big topic is going to be the interface or the ease of use. Now, Shopify is extremely user-friendly. That platform is pretty easy to master, and customizing your website's front end uses, a simple drag and drop interface. There's literally no coding necessary, but if you want to do some coding, or you have a coder that you want to bring in, you're absolutely able to do that. Now with Squarespace, I found that Squarespace can be a little more complex than Shopify when it comes to, how easy it is to actually master the platform. But again, I wouldn't write off the platform. At the end of the day, it's still going to be a short learning curve. The world has changed so much when it comes to these different platforms that you can use to build a business off of. And really, when you look at it, they're all pretty simple of platforms, right? It's just that it's going to take you just a little bit longer to actually learn Squarespace, as it's not as intuitive as Shopify. Now, another thing that I like to look at with website builders is website themes. Really, if you think about it, you may not necessarily want to create your own website from scratch, which is what these platforms let you do. No matter how easy it is, especially if you aren't really, or you don't feel that you're more creative minded, you might actually want to either bring someone in to create a website for you, or find an easier way to get it done, right? So I always look at whether a platform has a good amount of website themes available. Website themes are pretty much, already created layouts of a website that you can import into your own website. So instead of you starting from scratch, you can actually have themes that have already been created, and all you have to do is go in and put your information in there, and you already have a beautiful website created. Now, when it comes to looking at the two platforms, Shopify has an extensive theme collection. Now, you'll see on their website that they kind of show some of their own themes, but the way Shopify has built their platform, it's in a way that is fairly open, meaning anyone can really create a theme or a plugin that just bolts onto a website. So you'll see a lot of people who are actually selling their own themes. Another website that I'll link to down below is a website called Theme Forest. You can actually go on this website, and you have the option to be able to get even more website themes. So you can actually sift through Theme Forest, find a website theme that works best for whatever your vision is for your business, and be able to import that into your Shopify account. And it's extremely easy. Once you actually have it imported, then all you have to do is you can change the colors around, add photos, put in whatever information that you need for your business, and you're pretty much done. So I'll link down to Theme Forest in the description below. Now, when it comes to Squarespace has a good collection of themes, but keep in mind that they're gonna lean more towards the blog portfolio style of websites. Okay, but again, you also have the ability to code your own website or have someone code your website for you. Now, another topic I want to touch on is the point of sale, POS systems for Shopify and Squarespace. Now, usually I wouldn't touch on this in this day and age, but with the new pop-up shop phenomenon that's going on, this may be something that you want to think about. Now, for those of you guys who aren't familiar with POS or point of sale, that's pretty much just the systems that you need whenever you want to run a brick and mortar shop. So you can kind of think of it as whenever you're at the store, right? And you're checking out, you give your credit card to somebody, or you have to swipe your credit card. The machine that you're swiping your credit card on is technically called a point of sale system. So whenever you want to start selling essentially in real life, right? Or in person, then you're gonna need to make sure that you have a point of sale system set up. Now, the benefit here is both platforms actually offer a point of sale system. So that's what's clutch across the board. Just remember that if you decide that you want to do point of sale in Squarespace, you're going to need to upgrade your Squarespace plan to enable e-commerce capabilities. Otherwise, you're going to be able to have that capability across the board with both the companies. Next, I want to touch on SEO, or search engine optimization. This is typically new for people who are just getting into entrepreneurship. This is something that's going to be extremely new, or more than likely something you've never heard of before. But an easy way to explain this is with a few questions, right? When you create a website, how are you actually going to get customers? You know that old adage that build it and they will come? It's really no longer a thing. Back in the day, what you could do is you could build you had a storefront, right? So I could just build a store or create a store, put up some signage, and people were already walking by my store every day, right? Commuting, whether they're going to work or just visiting other stores nearby. And then they might be curious and walk into my store. And that's kind of how I launched my business. But the thing is, the internet is huge. There's millions of websites probably being created every single day. So you got to keep in mind that you won't be found on the internet unless you're actively putting in effort to be found, right? And if you're actually, marketing your company, because at the end of the day, no one's gonna stumble on your domain, right? No one's gonna, happen to type in your domain on their browser and just pop up at your store. You have to actively try to get people to come to your store. So when it comes to how are you actually gonna get customers or visitors to your store, one of the big ways to do it is SEO, which stands for search engine optimization. The easy way to understand this is whenever you Google something, right? Whether you're using Google, Yahoo, or Bing, whatever service that you use, you just go to Google and you type in a question or you type in exactly what you're looking for. The results that pop up, they are doing something called search engine optimization. They're pretty much optimizing or fixing up their website so that they can appear for those specific keywords. So whenever you type in, green toothbrush, right? You're gonna see a bunch of green toothbrushes or companies that sell green toothbrushes. The reason is they have optimized their website to make sure that they show up whenever that search term is showing. Now, the great thing is, this is something that every company in this day and age should be doing. And because of that, both platforms actually do a pretty good job when it comes to search engine optimization. Now, they make sure that you're able to add meta descriptions, sitemaps, everything that you need to be able to make sure that Google or any other search engine can, pretty much look through your website and be able to categorize everything and make sure that you're showing up on the search results. Now, of course, that's not the only marketing technique that I recommend that you do. There's gonna be other ones out there. You can use, do advertising. Another one that's big is gonna be email marketing. Both of these platforms have pretty basic email marketing software. Typically, what I recommend is you use a third-party, email autoresponder or email marketing software that is specialized in that, because I think email marketing is going to be one of the more important ways that you can actually market your company. But the great thing is, whatever email marketing software you decide to use, they're going to be able to be bolted onto your website, whether you're using Shopify or you're using Squarespace. In the end, guys, don't choose a platform based on the price, but rather whatever your end goal is. Do you need an e-commerce store? Then Shopify is going to be undefeated when it comes to that domain. Do you need to sell a service or maybe build a blog? Then Squarespace is going to be a great place for you to start in that regard. Interested in learning more about how to actually start a business? Check out this video right here on how to actually start an LLC, where I break down each step and include some of my top partners to help you get it done. Other than that, guys, I appreciate you guys taking the time to watch this video. Be sure that you hit the subscribe button so you don't miss any of my future videos, and like this video so I know that I'm on the right track. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you at the next one. Peace.